at the Institute of Neurology, and I'm also the chair and founder of Movement for Hope, and I'm an artist by hobby. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about those three things today. A little bit about what Movement for Hope is, what we do, how we do it, in the context of my research, which is multiple sclerosis, and then I'm going to finish with a little bit of multimedia art to share kind of how we go about things. So I'm going to share the story about Movement for Hope and how it all started. I was in lab really late one night, trying to finish some things off, and I realized that I hadn't actually come across the condition that I was studying. And so what I did was I went to YouTube and I started looking up different YouTube videos of people with the condition that I was studying, which at the time was motor neuron disease. And I came across an interview regarding an interview with Tommy Jude, who had motor neuron disease, and he's now passed away. And one of the things that he said struck me in a way that I can't actually describe. He said, "This disease is so horrible and so devastating because there is no hope and no help, and you know what the end will be. And the real calculation is that you might live longer than what you might want to because your family needs you." And there I was, in lab, well after midnight at this point in time, just trying to get 1 inch closer to the very condition that he was talking about. And so that struck a nerve in me to go and find more people with this condition and talk to more people and hear more stories. And as I got associated with different stories in the human experience with the condition that I was studying, I knew that there needed to be more awareness. And for myself, I needed to bring it to the public. And the only way I knew how to do that was to connect art and science through the concept of movement. And so that being, movement can exist in any form. You can have physical movement, so some people may have lost their physical ability, but they can still interact with different concepts of movement in terms of emotional movement. It can be emotionally moved, artistic movement. There's biological movement, of course, that we can't exist without. So these different ways to connect art and science. And so I started Movement for Hope. This is the team behind Movement for Hope. They help with everything from our strategic partners to the internal team that meets very frequently to go over things. So what we do at Movement for Hope is we actually foster collaborations between scientists, artists, and awareness advocates, so people who are closest to the cause. They're affected by the diseases. Families are, family members are affected or they have a condition themselves. And we drive a collaboration between them. So for scientists, researchers, and clinicians both, we provide public engagement opportunities such as this for them to speak about their science in a creative way to public audience. For artists, we help them to develop their artwork for an impact to public audiences and to an actual cause, and to make their art more meaningful or to combine it and make it more complex and dynamic. For awareness advocates, they get the opportunity to actually share their stories and experiences, as well as to develop their confidence to inspire hope in others like them. We take those projects and we put them into a public atmosphere, such as Neurology and me, and educate and provide funding for the cause that we support, so neurological conditions or specific cause that we're promoting at that time. So all of your tickets are going to charity today, and they will be funneled back into research, education, and adaptive equipment purchase. And so that in steps 1, 2, and 3 is what we do. So what are neurological conditions? Neurological conditions are diseases and disorders that affect the brain and spinal cord, and subsequently the nerves throughout our bodies. They are the leading cause of disability worldwide. The World Health Organization estimates as many as 1 billion people in the world are affected by a neurological condition. The United Nations Population Division has estimated estimated that there's only 7 billion people on Earth. It's a little bit over 7 billion. So as many as 1 in 7 people have a neurological condition and are affected by it. This means that they're your family, they are your colleagues, they're your friends. They're not a stranger in another nation. Prevalent neurological conditions are things such as multiple sclerosis, stroke, epilepsy, Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's disease, and that's not to diminish the importance of lower prevalence, such as motor neuron disease or idiopathic intracranial hypertension. So what happens in multiple sclerosis? In multiple sclerosis, we have let's just start from the baseline. We have highways in our brain. So if my arm is the highway that connects my brain to my muscles, this highway provides us, it's called an axon, provides us with a means to communicate to the rest of our body. Many of them are covered with the outer coating called myelin. And this myelin sheath or myelin coating allows for the signal to be passed faster. So if I go and I touch a hot stove, then my body will tell me, or the signal that passes will tell me to remove my hand immediately because it's hot. In multiple sclerosis, this myelin sheath, the immune system, so our immune system, I'm not sure how many non-scientists we have in here, but I suspect that there are a lot. I show hands up who's not in science. Right, okay. So the immune system is our body's kind of innate and initial response to anything. So when you have a cold or anything that kind of flares up, our immune system comes and is meant to be helpful to prevent any of this from happening to us. In multiple sclerosis, their immune system actually attacks them, and it targets the myelin sheath. And when it targets the myelin sheath, it kind of eats away at different holes, at different areas in the myelin sheath, and creates holes or lesions. Under the microscope, it looks like this. So in the green, you have the axon, or your highway. In the red, you have the myelin sheath. And in the yellow is where the myelin and the axon are coated perfectly. And that's what you really kind of want to see in most areas. So when lesions happen in multiple sclerosis, they'll have symptoms such as problems with vision, cognitive problems, problems with motor functioning, a slew of different symptoms depending on where the lesion happened first. And they'll come in for an MRI, and we will be able to see the area of lesion in the brain or spinal cord and assess them from there. There are many theories as to why this might happen, but my research in particular focuses on an organelle called mitochondria. And mitochondria, we think, play a role in the lesion forming in the first place. Mitochondria are our body's energy source. So we can't do anything without mitochondria. They provide oxygen and energy to our cell, to help our cells to do their jobs. So I'm not going to go through the complexity of mitochondria today, but I'm going to show you the full process in an abstract way. So dancers are going to come and you'll see a dance piece that demonstrates the full process of mitochondria as well as different units coming together. So in this piece, there will be different dance genres coming together to